Hey guys, my name is Andre, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how I built my personal brand and also give you the exact model that I'm using to essentially get paid to be myself. And before we dive in, I know this might sound like such a far-fetched fantasy that only a group of people or gurus can achieve, but I assure you it's not, because the beauty in all of this, and I'm gonna walk you through everything, the model in the video, the beauty is in no matter what expertise you have, no matter what you've been doing so far, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, real estate agent, musician, you can essentially turn your knowledge, your struggle, your pain, everything into a personal brand and into a coaching business and coach others to do the things that you've already been doing. And this is what I'm doing right now with my consulting business. I'm helping coaches scale and help others. It's essentially like I'm talking to the version of myself from 2 years ago who was this business owner, I call it like the chaotic business owner, who wants to make an impact, who wants to have a voice, a platform to truly help others, but doesn't really know how to create content or like how to build a profitable personal brand. This is like amazing because as opposed to dropshipping or SMMA or AI agencies or whatever, this model is essentially you're building a business around who you are. I don't know about you, but like my thinking is, what is like the best investment ever? Like the best projects that I'm ever going to work on in this lifetime is myself. So building a brand around who I am, and then from that brand expanding and creating other brands, other companies, other solutions that truly help others, to me that is the best strategy. You see all of these gurus talking about these business models and you're trying to dive into theme pages, you're trying to dive into an agency or a store just because you chase money. But even like before we start, if you're someone that chases just money and like some quick like get rich quick scheme, like this is not the video for you. If you really want to make impact solving other people's like problems, this is going to be amazing for you, because this is what you can do as an online coach and with a personal brand. And before we dive into the model, I just want to give you a little bit of context into how I got here. So I was always like this creative kid. Ever since like second grade, I was making magazines, drawing tattoos. God gave me like this gift to like constantly create. And so I took that creativity and throughout my life, I discovered music and I was actually an independent artist. I put out projects and it was like that part of my life, it was amazing. That was essentially my career. And up until recently, up until 2022, I thought that was gonna be my entire life. And so I made music. And then I got to one point where I realized like the music industry doesn't allow me to fully be myself. So I quit, no remorse, because I was like, okay, this is the end of that chapter in my life. Everyone was like, dude, how are you able to like make that big of a decision? And I was like, honest to God, like it was the easiest choice I have ever made, because I was like, this is just the chapter in the book. It's not the end of the story. And I get to take my creativity and put it to use in like something else. And that's how I got into business. I quit music and then I started 3 businesses like back to back, a creative agency, which completely flopped because I made a lot of mistakes. So I'm not gonna sit here and act as this guru. I started 2 e-com stores. The first one completely failed because I was just learning. The second one, it took off. I scaled that to 6 figures in revenue. It was amazing. And the third thing was a SaaS company. I was essentially selling guitar courses. I made this with my business partner. We made this like platform from scratch. It was absolutely crazy. We made, again, a lot of mistakes, but we did make a lot of money with it. And on top of that, like that really showed me the power of creating content and building a brand and funneling that traffic, that attention to something, and also like coaching and digital products. But then it got to one point towards the end of 2023, I was so overwhelmed with everything that I was doing, 3 companies all at once. I definitely don't recommend that. And I got to that point, like it was like the rock bottom. I was in debt. I was overwhelmed, stressed out, almost like I felt like I was dying because of the stress. I was just chasing money. It was really bad. I got to one point where I was like, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to stop everything. And then I'm going to take, again, my creativity, what I learned from business this time, and finally build my personal brand. Finally build like my platform. So I can have Andre, and then from Andre, like whatever business is created, that's perfectly fine. And at the end of 2023, I made that decision. I jumped in for 4 months. It was crazy because for 4 months I was posting back to back and nothing was working. But at one point, right before I wanted to actually quit, one video took off on my Instagram. I went from 200 followers to 10,000 in 1 week, I think. And now we're sitting at almost like 200,000. So I built that in a couple of months. And throughout that, like I started with low tickets. It was absolutely like awful. I made a lot of money, but I was in that space of like selling a course, and I knew I wasn't, I wasn't like meant to do that. I actually wanted to make an impact. And then I discovered like the coaching model. And this is what I'm going to show you in this video, how I built my coaching business with this model that allows me to fully be myself, get paid for it, and work with my dream clients without compromising who I am, my values, and my schedule. So essentially, my entire model, guys, is literally like you want to identify what is my dream life and then building your business around that, not the other way around. Because most of my life, I was building businesses, obsessing over like the business instead of obsessing over like what is my dream life, what is my ideal situation. And so that's what I'm going to show you in this video. So first of all, I have this concept, Unlocked Creator. This is basically my community and our inner circle. An Unlocked Creator is someone who essentially values freedom and who builds their business around their dream life and is unlocked, pun intended. So they don't have like the limiting beliefs anymore, and they create things that truly make a difference and have an impact. I wasn't this like throughout my journey. I was this chaotic business owner, and you might be in this situation right now. So I had no free time. I was just chasing clients. I didn't have like an ecosystem that allowed me to attract my ideal clients. And essentially I was compromising. Excuse my handwriting. Hopefully you guys got that. I was compromising back to back just to be able to make money. I was chasing contracts. And so that's like at one point I was like, I want to stop being this chaotic guy and I want to start becoming like an unlocked creator. And this is my model. So the model that I'm using, I call it the Unlocked Creator OS. This really like took me 12 months to fully develop. And if I had this video, it would have saved me 12 months of struggle, of pain, frustration, banging my head against the wall, trying to figure it out. So I'm gonna break it down for you. It's got 3 phases, and you can implement this for your coaching business and for your personal brand to attract and sign high ticket clients. So this is gonna be something for a high ticket coach. So we're not gonna do low ticket here. It's got 3 phases. So phase 1 is what I like to call the offer genesis. I'm gonna break this down for you. Phase 2 is what I like to call leads engine. And phase 3 is clients ascension. So these are all of the 3 phases that every online coach or every personal brand needs. So you need a what? You need a great offer. You need an engine for bringing in leads 24/7, because we all know the number one issue that coaches have is lack of leads, lack of quality leads. And offer leads, and what is the third thing? A system to effortlessly ascend people from being complete strangers to being followers and then finally being customers and clients, high ticket paying clients. So let me walk you through all of these phases and how it works. So essentially, we have the first phase, offer genesis. And this is the foundation of it all. This is what I'm walking my clients through at first, like when they join my program. So we start off with offer genesis. What do we need here? We need to know who you are, what you can offer, what are your strong suits, what is your soulmate clients, who they are, and what exactly you can offer. And essentially who you are, let's say this is you. That's the beauty in all of this, because you are not one single thing. So you might be the businesses that you build, places that you go to, the skills that you have, the apps that you've been using, all of this, the expertise, the pain that you went through, the solutions that you found along the way, and this is what really makes you you. A personal brand is not, so let me write it down. A personal brand is not tips and tricks. It's not your opinion on things. It's not even like the colors you're using, the logo. No, a personal brand is really who you are. And that's the thing. The more parts you show of yourself through your content, the pain, the struggle, the more people will relate. Because, and I know this quote, I forget the name, but it's an amazing quote. You are most powerfully positioned to help the person you once were. You have the knowledge, you have what it takes to help someone that is walking the same path that you once walked on. So let's say, 2 years ago, I was in that chaotic place with like running businesses, wanting to build my personal brand, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to build a coaching business. That's exactly the type of person that I want to talk to, that I want to help. So the more parts of you show, the more vulnerable you are, the more you show like the pain that you went through, the more you will attract your ideal clients. Because trust me, with all of this space, you got so many gurus that are fake. So many people who are just, sharing like educational things instead of sharing their pain. And I have this saying, you can use your pain, it's not mine, it's a quote, but you can use your pain in 2 ways. As your prison, so you can complain about it, or as your platform. And if you use your pain as your platform, that is the best way you can build your personal brand. Okay, cool. So we got the first part of the offer genesis, who you are. Let's go back to what I had here. What is next? Figuring out, okay, now I know my strong suits, who do I want to help, right? What is the profile of my soulmate client? And I have a really, really awesome, like simple way to figure this out. So soulmate client is what I like to call like the 3 stack. This is what I'm doing with every client. So we start off by identifying what is the profession of that soulmate client. What do they do right now? So this is 1, 2, what is their current situation? So what is their lifestyle right now? What are their constraints? What are they struggling with right now? And then the third thing in the 3 stack is what is their desired outcome? And you identify all of this, you get super clear on all of this, and this is the person, I'm just gonna draw stickman here, this is the person that you will target. I know a lot of you might have, including myself, when I started, I had this like savior syndrome. I was trying to literally help everyone. But if you wanna help everyone, you will end up helping no one. So you wanna focus on a specific group of people, because what you really wanna do with all of this as an online coach, you want to find one type of person, focus on them, figuring out how to solve one like big problem and offering one big solution for that particular problem, right? So we got one type of person, one big problem, one big solution or promise. And that brings me to the offer. So what is an offer? This is how you build an offer. You figure out, once you figure out like the current situation of that soulmate client, that's the point A. And then point B is their desired outcome. And basically the bridge between this is what I like to call the hero offer. So this is your big offer. And the way you define this, you define the problem, get super clear on that. Then you define the promise, your unique way of delivering that. And then for the third part, you define the process. And this brings me to the idea of the unique mechanism. So as an online coach, as a personal brand, you need your unique way of doing things. What is your predictable way of providing that particular solution? For example, for me is the Unlock Creator system that I'm breaking down right now. And inside of my community, the way I'm delivering this, I'm gonna put it up on the screen, is through levels. So people get to advance, just like in a video game, complete one level, then get to the next one, and essentially install my system into their business. So you have to figure out throughout this entire process, what is my unique mechanism? How can I deliver something, the results to the people in a unique way? What I would recommend for this is to break this down into 3 big phases. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and define the outcome and purpose for each of these phases. So you have a predictable system, because the more predictable your system is and phases are, the more predictable the outcome. And that's how you're going to appear as the safe bet for your people, and that's what you want. So that's the entire like offer genesis that we went through. Let me scroll back here. So that's the offer genesis. Now the next thing is the leads engine, and then it comes the client's ascension. So this is the leads engine. This is the second phase that we're focusing on with my model. You really need traffic, right? You need a way to constantly bring people in 24/7, bring qualified leads in. So what do I do with this? Is I focus on, it's super simple, on Instagram, then I bring people to YouTube, and then from those places I bring people over to my free school community, which you guys can join right now. It's gonna be in the description of this video. the Unlocked Creators Academy. And in there, I introduce people to my unique mechanism and to how we're doing things inside of the program, inside of the inner circle. And that essentially what it does, what this entire system does, it takes people from being like strangers or just some followers with short form into educating them more and providing more trust and an insight into who I am as a person, as a coach, who Andre is, and then bringing people closer into like my actual tribe, as I like to call it. And in here, this is when they're basically ready to buy. And this is what you want to do. 3 simple systems. Instagram with this, short form content, bringing people from Instagram to YouTube, because why? YouTube is the best way, the best channel to deliver long form content so that you can build that trust with people, and then you build even more trust and position yourself as the authority with a school community in which you essentially introduce people into your way of doing things, into your unique mechanism, which we talked about previously. And that way, you don't sell a random course. You don't you introduce them there, you have a conversation with them, and then they're ready to essentially buy. And that brings me to the last phase, which is the client's ascension. This is basically a simple ladder that I've developed to not only help me, but like help my clients as well understand how this goes. So it's just like a ladder. This is like Instagram, this is YouTube, this is the free community, the free school, this is a paid group coaching community, and last but not least, we have the one-to-one. Because you have to understand this is the simplest way to explain this. So this is like the ascension ladder. Because what do people want the most from you as the creator, as the personal brand, as the coach? They want access to you. They don't want a course. They don't want a PDF. They don't want like some crappy method or whatever. They want access to you, the person behind it all. So this is basically that. It brings them from this level of access, short form to long form, and warms them up even more, provides a little bit more access, closer access to you, proximity to your free school, and then eventually to your paid school, paid group coaching, and finally one-to-one. And the more access they want to you, the more they have to pay. When I've implemented this, guys, everything made sense, because before I was chaotic with low ticket offers, with all of this thing, but this is it. So client's ascension, going back to that, leads engine, and then the offer genesis. And this is what I'm using myself to scale past 30,000 per month this year. And this is what we're using with our amazing people inside of the inner circle. We got Zahib, for example. He's into digital marketing. We're preparing to launch his offer and essentially scale to 20,000 per month this year, which is going to be amazing. We got Sammy as well. She just did her launch for her program, helping women scale personal brands, and she got almost 1,000 people in using some of these strategies that we have inside, which is absolutely amazing. Congrats, Sammy. I actually have an interview with Sammy over on my channel. You guys can check it out. We got people from all around the world in all kinds of niches, because I know like some of you right now might wonder like, okay, this sounds cool, but will this work for me? Absolutely. As long as you're willing to actually put in the work, create content, and be yourself. I know it sounds cliche, but like show people who you really are and your expertise, your unique story. We can leverage that, and using the system, we can essentially transform people from literally strangers to high ticket paying clients, and essentially build a business around the life that you really want to live. If you were to join right now in my inner circle, I would ask you like, what do you want to build? How do you want your life to be? And we're building the business around that. The reason why I'm doing this, guys, I want to empower people to have the possibility financially to live the life that they really want to live, whether that's like getting closer to God, spending time with your family, with your loved ones, traveling the world, trying out experiences, even like building other brands. And this is the best way to do that, the best business model, because we're essentially creating a business around you, around who you are already. Long story short, just to get to the point of it, if this really resonates with you, if you're ready to transform your life, whether you're in a 9-to-5 right now, or whether you already have a personal brand and a coaching business, but you want to scale it past 5,000, past 10,000 a month, if this resonates with you, you will have a link down below so that you can book a call with me. You can also message me on Instagram or on our school, and we can have a conversation and see if we're a good fit, and we can essentially bring you in the inner circle and we can start implementing all of these systems into your own business so that you find finally, like, you get the clarity on knowing exactly what to focus on so that you can attract and sign the dream client. Shoot me a message or book a call with me. Let's work together and let's actually build something amazing.